Arise, shrink, the journey is too great for you. God is not interested in multitudes. God is not interested in the crowd. God is interested in one righteous man who he can use to carry out his purpose and wills on earth. Think of Abraham, Moses, Jesus Christ. And today I want to talk about the man called Noah. A righteous man through and through, righteous in physical and in heart. Genesis chapter 6 verse 8 says, "But Noah found grace in the sight of God." The Bible version said that God was pleased with Noah. Why did Noah find grace in the sight of God? Because unlike others on earth as at that time, Noah was the only one who was said to be righteous, and every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was not evil always. Amongst all of God's creation as at that time, it was only Noah who was said to be just and perfect in his generation, which means even his wife and children were not just. They also sinned against God, but God overlooked their sins because of their father, Noah. So let's say, for instance, if you are a family of 6 and God decides to bless your family, but the prerequisite of his blessing is that there must be a righteous man in your household, do you think your family will qualify for such blessing? If there is a righteous man, are you the righteous man? How many righteous men and women can be found in your household? Because if God can use just one righteous man to do great things in your family, then if he finds 2 righteous men, he will do double of what he did with just one man. God does not just visit a family or a generation with just the evil of their fathers. He also remembers the righteousness of the fathers and uses it to visit the generation. Do you know how many times God had wanted to forsake the Israelites and wipe them out? But each time he remembers Abraham and his covenant with him, he pardons them. Noah walked with God. He refused to be corrupted and lived in fellowship with God and in the fear of the Lord. And what was his gain? God saved him from the flooding doom. Not just him, but the entire household who were not just. You can be the reason why your whole family is blessed. You can be the reason why your whole family is saved. Just because of you, God can turn things around for your own good and for the good of the entire member of your family, your lineage and your generation. If Noah had gotten involved in the evil and allowed himself to be corrupted because everyone around him was doing evil, if he didn't build that strong resistance and faith and fear in God, he would have been doomed as well. That is why you need to build a strong spiritual stamina in the place of prayer, that no matter the evil you see happening around you, you refuse to be corrupted, not just because of your own interest, but because you want, whenever God remembers your family, he would look at you and decide not to perish the rest of your household for their sins and wickedness. And he would also use because of you and decide to overlook their shortcomings and rather bless them. Do not get discouraged by what others are doing, that you will start thinking, oh, this person is doing this or that. Why am I the only one waiting on God? Do not grumble and do not worry. Be that sacrificial lamb for the sake of your lineage and your generation. Just one righteous man is enough. Let that righteous man be you, or you be that righteous man. There may be others like the disciples of Jesus, but the Messiah we know is Jesus Christ. He is the one God knows and had destined to bring salvation to the world. There may be others like Aaron, but it is Moses that God knows and called to lead the Israelites through their exit from Egypt and journey into the promised land. Amongst your family, your siblings, there might be others, but it is you God knows, and it is you He's interested in to use and bring deliverance to your family and your generation. So as long as you remain righteous and do not deviate, God will use you to bless his people. Imagine if Noah wasn't righteous, or if Abraham disobeyed God, or if Moses disagreed with him, or if Jesus Christ changed his mind from dying for the sins he knew nothing about, or if you decide to give up on God. God can use only you to change the situation of things in your family. Do not feel overwhelmed when you try to preach or teach or correct and no one listens. Do not be demotivated by the negative remarks, backlash, manipulations, just because you chose to be different, to walk in the light and the fear of God. Do not be discouraged and do not give up, waiting and believing in God for his deliverance, blessings, graces, and favor. Psalm 37 verse 25 says, I have been young and now am old, yet have I not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. Sometimes it can get so frustrated and you get tempted to deviate from the way of God. Sometimes you get tired of waiting and hoping and believing. You get tired of praying and crying because you look around you and you see those who are living in worldliness and in disobedience to God, prospering, traveling and living the life. But for the sake of your children, your unborn kids, your family, do not give up on God. Do not get involved in shady activities that innocent generations to come will suffer just because their father or mother got tired of waiting on God. Everyone around Noah was evil and wicked. He wasn't even aware if God took notice of his righteousness. He wasn't even aware of God's anger on the people and his plan to destroy the whole earth with flood. He was just being himself and being a righteous man. And was he mocked because he chose to be different? Yes. Was it easy to be different in the midst of evildoers? No. Did God take notice of him? Yes. Did God bless his generation? Yes. Is God aware of you? Yes. Will he reward you for your faith and trust in him? Yes. Is God proud of you? Yes. Will he use because of you and turn things around for your entire family? Yes. Do not allow anyone deceive you that serving and obeying God does not pay. That person is a liar. If Noah wasn't righteous, God would not have used him and his entire family for the continuity of the human race.